Welcome back. I'm your host, Yohannes Negga, and today I'm going to show you around my hometown of Oakland, California. Right now, we're standing in front of Lake Merritt, a historic landmark that's over 150 years old. At first glance, the lake looks like it's man-made, but contrary to popular belief, it's not. It was marshland and creeks extended out to the San Francisco Bay, but eventually was dammed off by Samuel Merritt, the mayor of Oakland at the time, and who the lake was eventually named after. Oakland is a diverse city with over 70 languages spoken, where people from all over the world migrated over here. And two people who immigrated to the area at a young age are myself and today's guest. So right now we're in front of Alameda County's administration building, where today I'm honored and privileged to be interviewing Phong La, the county assessor. Come join me. Okay, today we're here with Alameda County Assessor Phong La.
It's great seeing you again.
Nice seeing you, Phong. But I'm sure the first question everybody in the audience wants to know is what role does the county assessor play?
The assessor's job is really simple. It is my job to locate and put a value on all property in the county. And we're very fortunate. We have almost 200 employees here. We have a assessment role of almost $430 billion right now in Alameda County, which generates nearly $5 billion of property taxes each year. And that is something that is very important to our community.
So Phong, you have a pretty diverse background. You were a professor, an attorney, commercial real estate broker. So what made you decide to be an assessor?
Growing up, my family is the American dream come to life, right? My parents brought my sister and I here to America when we were little babies, and my parents were in their 20s and they didn't speak a word of English. They didn't have a penny in their pocket. Only jobs my mother and father could get when they got here were to pick lettuce in the fields of South Alameda County, and my mom worked in a garment factory. They went to school at night, learned a trade, started their own businesses, and then through those businesses, they're able to send me to college and law school. And so when I decided to take the step to go back to the family business, I looked at the finances for the family company, and I saw that we were being overassessed. We were paying more for our property taxes than we should have. The overassessment was about $1 million, and the only response I could get was, if you disagree with it, file an appeal, right? And I just thought in my mind that was just wrong. It shouldn't be like that. And so I just told myself, if this job ever opens up, I'm going to run for it. And then at that same time, I became a professor, and I was teaching this stuff. I was still working in real estate. I was running the family business, but I was also running a real estate company at the same time, mostly in commercial property. And then in 2018, on the very last day to file to run for office, I got a phone call from an employee at the assessor's office who said that the assessor is retiring. So I drove from Fremont to Oakland. It took me an hour to get there. While I was driving there, I was calling my friends to ask them to meet me at the courthouse, because I knew that I also need to collect signatures to be on the ballot. Okay. So when I got to the courthouse, which was across the street from here, 10 of my friends were there waiting for me.
Wow.
And by 4:45 p.m., I was on the ballot and a first-time candidate for public office.
Wow, very impressive.
So that's how I became the assessor.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that as a government official, as a public servant, it's also my job to educate the public as well on what's happening. I teach real estate and I try and live it. The ability to own property and the ability to pass it on to future generations is essential for many families to achieve and maintain the American dream. Proposition 19 changed how you can pass on property to your children without triggering a reassessment. Let's say you bought the house in 1980 for $100,000, and that house is now worth $1.5 million. If you pass it on to your children and they don't live in that house after you give it to them, that property tax will go from about $3,000 a year to about $18,000 a year, depending on where you live, if you don't do it right. So you have to be cognizant and aware of what your goals are and what your children's goals are before you decide how to pass on property to them. And my advice is seek out a good CPA, a good estate planning attorney, and have those conversations. So that is the kind of the more specific part about Proposition 19 that everyone needs to be aware of.
Well, thank you, Phong. Well, on behalf of American Dream TV, our audience, and myself, I'd like to thank you for hosting us and taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you for coming by, and it's great to see you again.
Thank you.